Hi, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Prescott Gallery of Homes. I'm your host, Steve Irwin, and today we have a very special guest, Cathy from Homes and Land.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So, Cathy, let's talk a little bit about the market. I get a lot of questions on it, and right now the average sales price in Prescott's over $500,000.
Wow.
And
Average.
average, and there are a lot of homes that are way above that price point.
Right.
But we have less than 350 homes available, and that's area wide. So, but one of the things that I know that sells a house for the best market price quickly is to put them in Homes and Land.
That's right. Yeah, and we're especially all about the luxury market. So Homes and Land has excellent online exposure, especially for luxury listings. And we have our print magazine, but we also do direct mail of our magazine outside of the area with every single issue that we do. And then we have, like I said, this online exposure. We have a digital magazine. So even though we are into the print magazine, we have, we're trying to stay up with the digital world that we live in. But plenty of people pick up our magazine.
And I know one of the things I do is I send my buyers coming to the area a copy of Homes and Land.
Oh, good.
Because you deliver a bunch of them to my office.
That's right.
And people love them. And so it's a good thing. So, I'm seeing on here you have access to all these other websites like the Washington Post, New York Times. I believe I've seen an ad in here for DuPont Registry.
Yes.
Boy, you're talking about luxury homes.
That's right. So it depends on the price point of the listing.
Okay.
But depending on the price point of the listing, starting $450,000 and up, you get this extra luxury exposure for your home. We even have international exposure for luxury listings.
I was going to say that I think with Homes and Land, people have to realize it's a global reach, but local marketing experts.
That's right.
And so I just wanted to bring that out. Rob reports and some of the other things. So if I don't have necessarily a luxury home, where does it go online?
So we have probably about 9 or 10 other websites that your home will go to online. Homesandland.com, obviously. Okay. And then we have a list here. He's looking at our media.
Right. Kit. Yeah. Your affiliate.
Flipping
your affiliate
through.
List.
Yeah. So if anybody would ever like to sit down and have a proper sales presentation, I can show you our entire media kit and all of our benefits that we offer. Like I said, it's more than just a print magazine. We direct mail to areas outside of Prescott. Okay. We're always trying to get our advertisers in front of people who are actually interested in real estate,
right? And
who might have money, they're investors, they want to retire here, that sort of thing.
Well, one thing I do when I'm out and about, like at a coffee shop or a restaurant, I'll see somebody thumbing through Homes and Lands, and I just kind of gravitate to that person and talk to them about real estate. Yeah. And it's amazing how many people look at Homes and Lands.
Yeah. We print 8,000 magazines every 4 weeks.
Wow.
And they're, in a perfect world, we would have only one left over by the time the next issue came out, right? But that's a perfect world. Yeah. We generally do have some left over at the end of that cycle, but not a lot. So there are people out there, they like to pick up the magazine, they like to leaf through it. We also have a subdivision map in every issue.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it shows where all of the subdivisions are in the Quad Cities, so not just Prescott, but Prescott Valley, Chino Valley, out to Dewey, Humboldt, even Mayer. So yeah, that's a really helpful resource for people coming into town. They don't really know where anything is,
right? So
they can take a look at this map and get a real general overview, because it also shows where all of the lakes are, where all the golf courses are, where the airport is, and where Thumb Butte is.
Well, it's a good geo-reference type of thing.
Yeah.
So how do we get a house for sale into the magazine? What's the process?
So you have to be a realtor.
Okay.
We can't take for sale by owners.
Good for you.
That's just a franchise rule. So yeah, we are a franchise. Homes and Land is a nationwide franchise, and we own the territory of the Prescott Quad Cities.
Okay.
So a realtor would, for instance, call me up, and we would talk about the benefits that we offer, and we would go over the calendar and all the different price, size options.
Okay.
We have personal promo ads starting at $79. We have listing ads that start at $99. So it's affordable. And even those, then it goes up from there. You can do a quarter, half, full, 2 pages, 4 pages.
So if I'm a home seller, I wouldn't have to tell my realtor, look, I'd love for you to sell my house, but you gotta work with Cathy to get it online.
Correct.
Right. That's fabulous. I think that's really good. So as a realtor advertising in the magazine, what are some of the benefits that I would get?
So we take your ad and we just try to get it the most exposure that we can.
But it's only my name that's on the ad? Is that how it works?
Yes. Okay. So you're going to have your own ad in the magazine, but I see what you're getting to because we talked about this before. Right. Online, when somebody sees your listing online on homesandland.com, you are the only agent that's ever associated with that listing.
That's great.
So as opposed to these other big billion-dollar websites that are out there, they have competing agents next to every listing. Right. You're there, but then there's other agents as well. So we only have you next to your listing.
And that's important because the other agents, I guarantee you, don't know the listing like the listing agent does.
Right.
And so by those other portals sending traffic possibly to somebody that don't know what they're talking about, really doesn't help the home seller at all.
That's right.
So that was important. What are the requirements, like photos, videos, walkthroughs? What do you?
Well, we just generally would go to the MLS link.
Okay.
So we can turn on a link from MLS into our system. It brings your MLS listing into homesandland.com. Okay. And then I can get all the information from that. So I make it really easy. Me and my husband, Justin, are the publishers, but I'm also the graphic artist. Okay. So I can take your MLS link, and after you decide what size ad you want to do, just put the ad together, design it for you, send a proof, and then tweak it or approve it. And so I just make it as easy as possible for everyone who wants to put an ad in there.
Well, the realtor, I appreciate that part. Technology is not my strong suit. Yeah. So do we get a link that we can share on social media with that online presence?
Yes. So we have a digital magazine that goes live after the print magazine goes to press. Okay. And you could go to the digital magazine and copy and paste it into your social media sites, into an email and send it out so that everyone can see the digital magazine. Okay. But we also have really easy ways to take your listing, and you can then take your listing and share it to your social media sites as well. That's all stuff that I would show somebody who was sitting down and serious about putting an ad in the magazine. I could go over all that
Excellent.
Stuff.
And you did say if you did have some magazines left over, you just don't throw them away. What do you do with those?
Well, we recycle them with the Lions Club.
Okay. Oh, good. Mm-hmm. Good. Excellent. All right. Any idea on recommended, if I had a listing, how many issues do you think we should put it in the magazine?
Well, we always recommend at least 3.
At least 3.
Just because it's the repetitive, it's really getting that maximum exposure. Okay. We certainly do have, we're willing to do a 1 issue, but it's not something that we recommend. But we have a 3 issue, a 7 issue, a 13 issue agreement. I need to mention as well that we do a Wall Street Journal insert 3 times a year. Oh, so wow. 3 times a year, we take 2,500 of our magazines and we physically insert them into the Wall Street Journal. And it goes out to those 2,500 subscribers. So we would, for instance, send to either Southern California or Southern Arizona, for instance. And those Wall Street Journal subscribers would have an actual Homes and Land magazine inserted into their Wall Street Journal.
So I can tell my seller they're going to be on the Wall Street Journal?
Well, inserted into.
On the luxury thing, I think that Prescott, this particular market, we're seeing more and more luxury buyers. People are coming in from out of town and overseas. I mean, we got an inquiry from Saudi Arabia on a property that we sold. Yeah. They didn't buy it, but it was interesting. That's where the traffic came from. Cash buyers. Yeah. And so, excuse me. And so, are you starting to see more luxury listings in the magazine?
Yes, especially right now. All of the 250 to 450 listings are so few and far between. So there's, yes, these luxury listings that are out there, $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million listings in the magazine, and they're getting the maximum exposure.
So Cathy, are you starting to see more luxury listings in the magazine?
Yes, absolutely. All of the listings that are on the market right now that are in between 250 or 450,000 are very few and far between. Those go like hotcakes.
Right.
But the luxury listings, they usually take a little longer.
Right.
Right now, I don't know. I don't know about that. Even those seem to be going pretty fast. But yeah, they do seem to take a little longer. So the best place to put those luxury listings is in Homes and Land, because you get this great online luxury exposure, and then we have international luxury exposure as well.
That's fabulous. I like that. Now, how does a realtor get a hold of you? What's your...
Call or email me.
Okay.
My name is Cathy Alvis. My phone number is 928-717-0100. And my email address is graphicsprescott@gmail.com.
And I'm assuming you guys are affiliate members of the Prescott Association of Realtors?
Yes.
That's a really big plus, because I search that affiliate directory all the time. And so, well, Cathy...
We're there. Yeah, you could find us through PAR.
Absolutely.
As well, yeah.
And so, well, Cathy, thank you for being on this episode.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Hey, welcome back to the show. We have a special guest, Daniel Martinez from Farmers Insurance.
Thank you for having me, Steve.
So, what's Farmers Insurance? What's going on there?
So we do auto, home, we do your commercial business, we do your life insurance, but we can talk about that later. What's going on with the market? The market is booming.
The market's crazy. The average sales price, well, first of all, I get a market report from Lawyer's Title. And Kirsten Olson, she's a regular on the show. She could also send anyone, a realtor, a market report. And then that realtor can share it with their clients and their insurance agents. So what's going on in the Prescott market is just crazy. We only have, as of this report, which came out yesterday, 125 homes listed in Prescott. Isn't that crazy? So needless to say, it's a seller's market.
Yeah.
And this report has the medium list price just under 800,000.
Wow.
So, and average days on market's 52. The next bigger market in terms of volume, not price, but volume, is Prescott Valley, and they're just at 465 is the medium list price, and the average days on market's 31, and that's just because they're priced a little bit more affordable.
And how many listings do we have in Prescott Valley?
Well, I think there's 318 MLS wide, so it's Quad City wide, so probably about 152, I believe, in Prescott Valley. Of course, the market changes every day.
That's right.
So, but Daniel, tell us a little bit about, why you're on the show. I know you're like the biggest commercial insurance guy, right?
Well, we focus a lot of our business in commercial, absolutely.
And commercials are good. I have commercial insurance for my company and my real estate also, and so we enjoy working with our agents. So tell us a little bit about what's going on in residential insurance.
Yeah, so let's kind of keep up with the theme here about residential insurance and talk about HOAs. HOAs are very common in Prescott and Prescott Valley.
Sure.
And so with HOAs being common in Prescott and Prescott Valley, I don't think a lot of purchasers of homes realize that there's an additional coverage called loss assessment coverage on HOAs that you could buy.
Uh-huh.
And that's in case your HOA gets in a little bit of trouble, and there's not enough coverage through the HOA. As homeowners, you could be responsible for that HOA.
I got a good story. My aunt lives in Florida, in Orlando, where they do all the racetrack there. And her HOA lost her insurance because of all the hurricanes they were having.
Yeah.
And so they're privately insured now. And so every time there's a problem with the HOA or the community property, the homeowners get a nice little bill to cover that bill.
So that's exactly the circumstance. So there's a coverage that's only $15 a year. That's not a month.
Wow.
And it covers you in case of a lawsuit ever occurs with the HOA.
Okay.
That they'll cover you up to $50,000. Now, that's a little different for every insurance company.
Sure.
But it's important to have those conversations.
And what's that type of insurance?
It's called loss assessment coverage, and that's for HOAs
That's really
primarily.
nice.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people watch the show really don't know what insurance covers.
Yeah.
Right. And so, if my house caught on fire and burnt down, I can probably list my house in the 600s because of the way the market is. If it burnt down, it's a total loss. What can I expect insurance to cover?
So that's really a good question, because when we talk about market value and your average sales price in Prescott is $800,000, and you talk to your insurance agent and they tell you we're insuring your house for $5, there's a discrepancy there, and there's some emotion there sometimes too. But it's all focused on what it costs to rebuild the home, not the market value, not the land value, but the labor costs and the material costs. And right now we see material costs kind of doing a lot of different things as the market is.
Particularly wood.
Yeah, absolutely. So we see lumber, we see appliances becoming a lot more kind of harder to find because of this chip kind of thing with cars and everything else also.
Yeah.
And so with that said, you face kind of an increase of coverage also. And most insurance companies have like a little discrepancy account, whether it's 10%, 15%, or 25%. But ultimately, in that discrepancy of the $300,000, what we're focused on is what the cost of again, specifically, what it costs to rebuild that structure.
So it's not market value. I can't take that money and go out and replace my house. I have to build a new house. That's what you're covering.
Correct. And if you look at today's market, somebody might still buy a lot today and build a home. Right. And that market value is different from what it costs that person to do those two things. Sure. That lot may have cost them $150,000. Okay. That house build may have cost them $500,000, but they could sell that house today for $800,000. That's a $650,000 cost. We still have to take that $150,000 off that $650 cost, because that land will still be there regardless of the fire.
You can't destroy land. It's always there.
You can't. And we can't replace it neither.
You can't replace it also. And you can't duplicate it.
No.
So that's another issue. So what are some of the things a homeowner can do to protect their personal property in the home? Because you insure that also.
Yeah, and I think, again, this market's changing. Last year we saw a big change or shift because people were spending more time at home, improving their houses too. Right. So I do kind of want to emphasize on that a little bit, is that if you're repairing your home, it's important that you make improvements to your policy also.
That's a good point.
Hypothetically, if you have a carpeted home, 80%, and you change that flooring to a hardwood surface, the material costs a little bit more money, but not only the material, but the labor is a lot more expensive. Carpet is one of the least expensive things to install in a home.
Right.
But tile or hardwood is not as simple as a carpet would.
Yeah, so more labor, materials are more expensive.
Absolutely. But nobody adjusts for that with their insurance policy. So what you can expect if you had a loss, not necessarily a total loss, but even a partial loss, is that you're going to be reimbursed for the carpet expense of the material and the labor. And somebody's experience may be, I'm getting gypped. I don't know what other words to use, but you're getting gypped. And in that circumstance, is if we don't make those appropriate adjustments for your insurance, you should expect what you have on the policy.
That's right. That's a good point, because a lot of people, like you said, are moving out of the big cities. They're coming here because they can work remotely.
Yep.
So they're investing in their homes, making it to do the staycation, they call it, staycation homes. And so now they're quite nice, and they put a large investment into that. So they definitely do need to talk to their insurance agent. And so they need receipts or pictures or?
No, again, with us, we just do a reassessment of the house, right? We ask you your quality of floors, we ask you your countertops, we ask you what you've done. Again, a very common remodel right now is restrooms, right? And we see these DIY kind of things. And the second time, you don't want to do it after you did the first time. So,
that's right.
Again, you want to make sure you insure those improvements. You mentioned personal property. Right. We're spending more time at home. And again, I always suggest once a year or every so often is take photos around your house. Take an inventory as best as you can. Any individual item that's worth more than $2,500, other than most furnishings, unless it's an antique, should be insured individually. So that's important also to kind of take a note of.
Yeah, there's a lot of, Prescott's an old town, so there's a lot of people with antiques here. And I was at a home the other day and just full. Come to find out, she was an antique dealer, and her house shows it. It's a beautiful home, but I'm sure she doesn't have all of her individual things insured, but they should.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so in your office, do you give discounts when people put their auto insurance and home insurance or commercial? Or?
Yeah, the more relationship we have, and we do focus on that idea of a relationship, the bigger relationship we have, the more discounts that they qualify for, whether it's their auto and home, whether it's their small business and their home and their auto. We look to kind of expand on that relationship as best we can. And as we were talking about commercial, even workman's comp. But we do offer discounts to a lot of heroes. We call them everyday heroes at our office. We call it as a fitting discount at Farmers. But we have discounts for firemen, police officers. We have discounts for lawyers. Some people won't think they're
For lawyers.
yeah, they're heroes, but we have them for lawyers. We have them for just different occupations, nurses, doctors, and we don't know how else to say thank you for all those service members, except for by including military, other than giving them a discount. So that's how we say thank you. So just a small reminder to all those out there. Thank you.
Do you give discounts to realtors?
Who?
Realtors?
Sorry, Steve, we don't.
They're well, maybe veteran status, and we'll try it that way. They're one of the things that I think a lot of people are interested in is mobile home insurance.
Yeah.
So tell us, how do you handle that? If I bought a mobile home, I wanted it insured.
So we own the #1 insured for manufactured homes.
I did not know that.
So Farmers owns a company called Foremost, and it's a very common name out in the manufactured home industry.
I see it a lot.
Yep. You want to be careful when you're looking for manufactured home insurance, and I can't say this in a better way, but we'll give you the best value that we can with something called replacement cost on a manufactured home. So many companies with manufactured home insurance actually depreciate the value of the home. So hypothetically, they have $100,000 of policy, but the house is 20 years old. They depreciate the value of the house, and now they've been paying the same premium for the $100,000, but that depreciated value is about $40,000 in the house.
Wow.
And that premium is about a 20% discount from our premium rates, where I'll insure it for maybe for $75,000 and never depreciate the value of the home. And I will charge a little bit more premium on there, but again, you will never face that depreciation. And that's kind of a different type of experience, and where you see the value. And education about insurance is so important, or where we key our customers in. We do emphasize on education and having a relationship. We don't insure everybody the same way. We want to make sure we kind of have an individual conversation to kind of find out what motivates you, right? What's your intrinsic value?
Yeah. So you tailor it to the client.
Absolutely, as best as we can.
And so if, as we start to wind down this segment, how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so email, phone, smoke signals, come to our office. We invite you kind of come. We feel like, we're a small community here in the Northern Arizona area. We want to shake your hand. We want to make sure that you know who we are. So come and visit us at our office. Our address is 7594 East Palo Verde. That's Palo Verde. I can't say it the other way.
Palo Verde.
That's right. And that's in Prescott Valley.
What's it next to?
It's across the street from Roberts Market, and in between the lawyer's office and the veterinarian that's there.
I was just there the other day. There's like a Thai restaurant right down the street.
I love that restaurant.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's great.
We'll have him on the show. So, hey, well, Daniel, thanks for coming on the show.
No, thanks for having me. I can't say enough that I really appreciate this community, and that's one thing we focus on a lot is how can we give back, and we always like to make sure we share as much education pieces as we can.
And just kind of being in the industry a little bit, I see that you are very active in the community. So thank you for that.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Prescott Gallery of Homes. Daniel from Farmers Insurance is just an example of some of the many guests that we have coming on the show. In the coming weeks, we're going to have the Central Yavapai Fire District Captain come in, talk about firewising your property. We're going to have other real estate agents come in, spotlighting some of their unique listings. We're going to have invite people from the Prescott Area Association of Realtors. We have a new CEO coming on board. So the show's going to continue to grow, and we hope to have many different speakers and guests on the show. Thank you again for tuning in to this episode of Prescott Gallery of Homes.